Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jens Vandewijngaarden. I'm the technical manager for Milliken's EMEA business. Today I'll be giving a presentation on our additive solutions and concentrates for improving the performance of PP in thermoforming applications. A little bit about Milliken to get started. So Milliken is a family-owned company started in 1865, if I'm not mistaken. But we grew throughout the years into a company spanning over 8,000 associates and 70 plus global locations, including production facilities and offices in more than 14 countries. Want to kick it off maybe with giving an overview of our 2025 sustainability goals, where we focus on three main pillars, being people, product, and planet. People, here the focus is really on anything related to safety in the production and office facilities, but also on data, privacy, diversity and inclusion, etc. On the planet part, it's pretty obvious that we need to look at how can we reduce our environmental footprint on this production scale. In terms of product, it requires a bit more of a systematic approach on how do we minimize waste and the footprint of our products that we put into the world, but also how can we make more products to facilitate in recycling of polymers. And this really requires a lot of internal assessments, but some collaboration with the worldwide industry as well. Hence our vision, you can see it here, to boost circularity and enhance plastics through innovation and collaboration. I'll be skipping through this one for the sake of time. Questions in the meantime? All right. So we're going to talk about our products to enhance the performance of PP in thermoforming. We're going to kick it off in a bit with high transparency. How can we improve the transparency? You should consider that as the core of this presentation, and then we're going to introduce other functionalities to build on top of that high clarity, being anti-fog, improved impact resistance at low temperatures, and as well a range of colorants. I assume that everyone here has a connection to the thermoforming world, obviously, but I'll explain anyway why choose polypropylene for thermoforming. To make polypropylene, the polymer itself, it has a relatively low carbon footprint in comparison to other polymers. It's easily recyclable. It has a density advantage, meaning 1,000 kilograms of PP makes a lot more parts than 1,000 kilograms of a higher density material. And of course, the functionality of the material, the heat resistance, is also not unimportant if you are looking at applications like hot fill, pasteurization, reheating in the microwave, etc. Now, PP already has a lot of great functionalities, but how can we boost that even more? And that's what we're going to be talking about now. How can we allow it to replace other materials where it makes sense? How can we improve the visual, the aesthetic of it all? The mechanical properties, and as well for the processing point of view, the dimensional stability. As I said, we're going to build this presentation around transparency and clarity to start with. PP on its own is a rather milky polymer due to the semi-crystalline nature. However, by using our range of NX Ultra Clear additives and concentrates, we can really boost that transparency to the highest possible clarity and gloss. Because of this, we can really compete on a visual level with certain glass-like polymers that are more amorphous in nature. Once we establish that high transparency, of course, you want to keep it that way during its use and lifetime. And that's why we also developed a product for anti-fog applications called MaxView. Maybe just to clarify what is anti-fog, take the example of a takeout container. Hot foods, you put it in a container, the lid goes on. The material or the food will start to evaporate water, and that will condensate on the lid. And of course, then your transparency is gone. So we developed a product to eliminate that effect, and that way you can keep the visibility of the product throughout the use. For example, the chicken dome example is a really nice one. The hot chicken goes into the packaging. It immediately needs to get rid of the fogging effect, and then it goes into a hot cabinet until the consumer buys it. So it's a rather long time that it's exposed to water vapor. Another product that I'd like to highlight is a product called Max Impact. The name says it itself, it's really aimed at improving the impact properties of polypropylene while maintaining the transparency and stiffness that we have introduced. To explain a bit further, I'll refer to the chart here. The orange dots is the stiffness, represented by the flex modulus in this case. The dark blue bars is the haze, so a measure for the transparency. And the purple bars is the impact at minus 20 degrees, so really low temperatures. On the left-hand side, you have the control, which is a basic homopolymer for thermoforming, nothing out of the ordinary. But we tweaked it with the NX Ultra Clear to get that nice transparency, of course. When you start working with a competitive mollifier, a general impact mollifier on the market, you can see immediately the stiffness drops very rapidly, which is of course a negative effect you want to avoid. Also, we see that the haze even doubles upon addition of common levels that you need to use. And unfortunately, as with most of these products, the actual performance at low temperature impact isn't that impressive. I'm a bit in my own way. On the right-hand side, you have a formulation containing our max impact product. So what you're going to see here immediately on the dark blue bar is the haze stays the same. So the high clarity that you created is maintained throughout the process. The flex mod, so the stiffness, is reduced, but to a much lower effect than a competitive material. And then, not unimportant, of course, is the actual impact performance at low temperature that we have significantly increased now. In absolute values, this might not seem as a massive difference, but this is really the difference between break and no break at this kind of temperature. A bit more on the technical end is our range of ultra balanced concentrates that I want to highlight as well. So ultra balance is a product line based on nucleating agents, which are additives that affect the crystallization behavior of PP. By changing the crystallization behavior, you can, on one hand, change the stiffness, so make it stiffer. Stiffer means stronger parts, thinner parts, down gauging, material saving and cost saving, and also higher temperature stability. We can also have a very isotropic shrinkage. So that means in the machine direction and the transverse direction, the shrinkage will be roughly the same. Why is that important? You'll have very stable dimensions during sheet extrusion and during thermoforming. Stable dimensions means no warpage, less scrap, and higher quality of products in general. And last but not least, maybe something a bit less technical, a bit more aesthetically pleasing, is our range of colorants that are very complementary to the NX Ultra Clear range of clarifiers. This is a range of colorants that was really developed to maintain the highest possible transparency. What you typically see with traditional colorants like pigments is that it has a very negative effect on transparency. So on the left hand, you see the charts where we created 3 different colors, yellow, red, and blue, one based on pigment, which is the purple bars, and one based on our clear tint product line. You'll see in the dark blue bars. Looking at the purple bars, you see immediately adding in different types of pigments drastically increases the haze, the visual appearance is going off. However, with the clear tint, we tend to keep it a lot more on the lower end and really keep that fresh look. So to summarize a bit, this is a short grasp out of our portfolio for PP thermoforming. We can offer solutions to make the PP stronger, to down gauge, to cost save, to save on material, help you make more environmentally friendly choices wherever it's needed. And all that can be done on the machine side, but we also have some solutions offered to the PP producers in general. So by that, I want to thank you for your attention. Also a big thank you to Ottavio and the WM team for inviting me. And if there are any questions, please feel free. Thank you.